Okay. So, I don't know how to start anything like this really. Other than saying hi. Um, some people on Twitter have asked like a couple of times and just around. They're like, "Oh my God, hi. How do you do your funny little thing called artwork?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I don't know how to explain." So, I am a fucking genius. And I was like, "Oh my God, I could just make one of those YouTube videos where I just show what I do and just talk over it like a moron." And here we are. So, this recording's probably going to be long as fuck. Because I haven't even called this in yet, but I thought I'd show that as well. Because, why not, you know? So I don't know, I'm just doing base colours and shit like that. Um, I probably won't leave too much of the segment in, because it's literally just, a lot of it is just reference colours. These are just completely unaffected by, well, mostly unaffected by like lighting and stuff like that, the base colours that just your base colours before you slap all your fucking cool little effects on it and shit like that. Um, so yeah, just colour picking from the fucking gorgeous sprite work of Rocket Slime. God, I love that game. Could you tell? So yeah, I'll try and edit this down as much as I can. Also, grey background is good to colour lighter colours against, so you can see if you've missed anywhere, and so you can check. Well, like to I don't know, just so you can see if it looks alright in a different against a different kind of background. I mean, this is going to be bright as fuck anyway. Oh yeah, warning for that. This is going to be eye straining. Um, so yeah, and yeah, I just changed the color of the crown there because you can see if I drop that, that's like right at the very top. That's not really going to be really well affected by um like luminosity layers and stuff like that. So I just made that a bit dark. I might actually make that a little bit more dark. And even though it's just like a grey crown, I'm leaving some like blue in there just so, I don't know, it looks nice. Why not fuck around with the colours, you know? Just have a good time. Yeah, for the just for the base colours, I'm just using like a regular ass pen. It's just the regular colouring pen on the side. I don't use too many brushes really. It's the same pen that I use for this sketch. A lot of the sketch, when I'm doing it, you can probably tell from like how it's kind of like chunky and weird. I like sketch into it and then I just like erase a bunch of it. It makes like this nice thick lino effect. Actually, one sec. That looks weird. I don't like how that looks. That's a bit too. Oh, and my tablet disconnected. Because my tablet wire likes to disconnect. Not too much, but yeah. And yeah, I like paint, I don't really need to worry about the sketch too much because I'm gonna fuck around with all the color placements. Not the color placements, but like when I'm painting, I'm just gonna paint over a lot of stuff, so it doesn't really matter. Sorry if this is really quiet, by the way. My headset is a bit of a pain. Yeah, when I color, I use like a lot of layers just so I don't know. It's just easier. I'm lazy, so it just means I can just color under stuff easily. I mean, I'm gonna merge them all under the same layer later on anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. Funny old man. I'll just freehand this one. I did copy paste this, I'm not gonna lie. But you know what, that's fine. Do whatever you gotta do to make things easier, and it looks fine anyway. Plus, when I paint it, it's not really gonna be, well, it's gonna be noticeable, but I'm not gonna copy paste the rendering over, so it'll look fine. Right, yeah, so fun trick for when you're coloring. If something is a real pain in the ass to get the shape of, just like color around it, like in a big ass blob, and then just erase the parts that you want to keep. It's so much fucking easier. It's so much faster. I love it. Yeah, okay, so just finish colouring, merge everything in one layer. You know how it goes. Yeah, that's good. Just clipping grouped it. So all the extra bits that aren't where the colour goes will disappear in a lovely little fashion. This is just the same old for the background. I'll obviously have to edit a lot more of these colours because, gonna be honest, the yellow of his throne is fucking ugly. Gonna use something a little bit nicer. Oh, that's the wrong layer. Something like this maybe? I'll see how it looks actually. Let's see how that looks. I mean, that's alright. That's not too bad. Yeah, just here I'm going to use that same colour in as blobs and erase technique. It's really good for like really fine points. Because you can just like file it down with your eraser, whatever the fuck. If I did neat line art, I could just paint bucket it all, but I think I'd rather drown than do proper line art, because I don't like line art. And if you don't like line art, you don't have to fucking do it. No one's saying that you have to. I think the last time I did line art was like 2 years ago when I was fucking around. And then before that, I find it so boring. And if you hate it too, then you don't have to do it. Some people enjoy it a lot, which is very fair. I can see there being very fun ways to do line art, where you can enjoy it a lot. But not me. I do not like it. Yeah, this colour isn't too bad, but I'm going to make it a bit less vibrant and a bit darker. Be a bit more malleable, if that makes sense, when we put a bunch of funny layers on it. It's good to keep it in mind, because if something's too bright, then it's not gonna change a lot. McDonald's looking ass throne. You get it in a Happy Meal? Get a little chair and a Happy Meal? You get the big boy meal? Okay, okay, yeah, so this fucking colour is literally in the goddamn corner, so do something like that. Oh my god, that's so bright. I'm gonna make it a bit more orange, less bright. Let's see. That's alright, but it's not got the same quality. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Oh yeah, the ribbon on his... Got a little bit of ribbon on his throne. Gonna make it a bit yellowish, so it stands out behind his beard, kind of. Not very much, but... Oh well, you know. The thoughts there. Man, the ribbon goes on the floor here, but that doesn't look right at all. That doesn't look right. Probably would go somewhere like that, actually. Yeah. I'm not gonna... Am I gonna do the designs on the... Suppose I'm gonna have to do these fucking floor details. Oh, they're just like that? Oh. That's looking a bit too flat, so let me just deform that. Don't worry about getting the lines absolutely perfect, 'cause it'll just be a bit of a waste, because you're just you're gonna paint later, so you can fix it then, you know? The only people that are gonna bring up the fact that you did a carpet wrong on like a piece of fan art for a game from 2005 are arseholes. They're arseholes. Like, who's actually gonna give a shit, you know? In the nicest way, who's gonna care? Oh yeah, I should probably mention, flip your canvas. It's the most useful thing in the world, and it makes your mistakes stand out. I do it all the time. Make it a habit, because it's so handy. And it's so useful. Because then you can tell what's wrong before leaving your piece for like a day, coming back to it the next day and be like, oh, for fuck's sake, all of this is wrong. I'm gonna cry, you know? Look at that, all the colours are done. Da, da, da. So I like to set my sketch layers to be Lumion Shade. Lumion Shade layers are like the most beautiful little thing. They make colours look very nice. That's all I can really say. Lock that. Maybe a blue. Ooh, yeah. See, look, this is where some of our colours start to come in. Lock this as well. Blue looks really nice. Blue's a really great colour to do shading with because it's like in natural light and stuff like that. But if you're feeling a little bit quirky, do purple shading. Purple shading is so nice. Look at that shit. Whoa, bon appetit. But we're gonna do blue for this one. Here's where things start to get interesting. So again, we want a Lumion shade layer, and we're gonna start doing our base shading. There we go. So yeah, here's where our shading starts to come in. If it's messy, don't really worry about it. Just get it where it needs to be. He's made up like a bunch of round shapes, so this is probably going to be a lot of round shading. Where this little bit is like laying on it will be shaded and like it'll be round. You know what I'm saying? His mustache and his little sash are laying over. Think about those shapes, baby. It's really hard to explain. That's why I'm doing this video, it's just so I can show. It's like it's so hard to fucking explain your art process. Like, oh, here's my favorite part. The crown is metal, so I'm going to throw away all realistic lighting and make it very, very shiny because I like that and I think that's fucking cool. You don't have to do that, obviously. Do whatever you want, you know? Art's your funny little playground. And don't let me tell you what's right and wrong, you know? I'm just showing you what I do. It's laying on this. It's probably like a little well of shade in there because everything's all pressed up together. So that's just some good base shading for him. We're gonna clipping group that. All the colours that we've just cut down gets locked to the colours that we did for his real wobbliness. That's his name, his real wobbliness. It's very good. I'm gonna make another Lumion shade layer with the same percentage and the same colour, and I'm gonna do some base shading for the background. Oh yeah, so since the lightning is coming down from above, these little ribbons are kind of like popping out from the chair, so there's gonna be some like little bits of shadow underneath them. Like since this texture, this stuff is slightly shiny, it's gonna have like a lot of contrast in it. Because that's what shiny stuff has, you know? It has those big highlights and big bits of shading. So that's the first bit of shading done. You can always adjust these colours. I mean, you don't have to use the same colours for the second bit of shading. Yeah, the thing is with Lumion shade layers, sometimes they can really fall short with like doing like blue shading on a blue object. Sometimes it can look really shitty. I'm gonna be honest. When things start to look a bit shitty, you can always preserve the like you can just lock the layer and like go over that specific part with a slightly different color just so it stands out a bit more. With like reflections or like shiny stuff, a lot of the time what you'll find is that a lot of like the dark will collect in like one like little strip and like all the highlights will collect in one little strip. So like and normally it's like right next to each other. Well sometimes, not all the time. So like a highlight will be like right there. You know what I mean? Like right there, probably another one like around there. That's how I'll probably end up doing it. Looks like he's done for now. And you know, same thing. Get this new Lumion shade layer, set it to 22, like we did with the other darker shading layer on Israel wobbliness. I mean, to be honest, you can use different levels of opacity. It's fine. Whatever you think fits. Fabric creases are always, or they just tend to be pretty dark because it's just so tightly like put together. You get what I mean? Since it's like pinched. like not a lot of light can really get in there. But yeah, don't worry too much about the sketch looking like too dark in some places. We are going to adjust that later. Now we get to do the what's it called? Highlights. Yes, highlights. For this, I like to use a combination of Lumion shade and luminosity layers. Let's do some like orangey, like sunlight shading for this, since it's just like a naturally lit castle. I like to. Sometimes I like to test. Oh, you see, I'm a genius. I might actually. Okay, so this layer is just gonna be like a general layer for the entire piece. Just to change like the colors, like the whole thing. We're gonna put some lighting on the dude himself. Just obviously where the light hits the most. It's coming from up above. I'm using a luminosity and shade layer with like a little orangey color. You can see that. Also, don't be afraid to go over like some of your shading, because you see that's why you get some more colors in. You can use those in your painting, which is very nice. You actually kind of want that, so it like kind of all blends together a bit more. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And then I'm gonna use a luminosity layer, just luminosity. I'm gonna use like a bright yellowish kind of color. And this guy is a fucking slime, so he's slimy. To be honest, I only just like re-realized that I should have been putting this guy with a slimy texture, because I'm an idiot. The thing is with luminosity layers, it really fucking brightens up a piece. Like, the difference between a luminosity layer and a Lumion shade layer is, obviously you can tell by the name, Lumion shade, it does both light and dark, which is really handy and really cool, I think. So you can use a lot of bright colours on that to really, like, change the colours of your piece quite a bit. It's like an overlay layer, but, like, really extra. It always ends up putting more colour into something, while luminosity just brightens something and doesn't put as much colour into it. So it's, like, less saturated. So I just changed the regular lighting layer to a luminosity layer, because it was just a bit too saturated, like he just looked a bit too orangey. So I just changed that to a regular luminosity layer and changed it to this colour that I've picked right now. All these lighting layers are above the sketch, so the colours of the sketch can be affected really easily, but if you don't want that, you can put the sketch layer above all your shading layers and it'll be like, it'll stand out a lot more. Okay. So time to do the same two layers to the background. So let's get those really bright highlights going. Okay, I'm gonna want this brighter, like way brighter. I'm gonna make this higher highlights layer. Yeah, 51 as it is up there, just so it's really bright. It really stands out on the gold. I'll put like a little bit of highlights there just so I have that color. It's a bit too bright to just fucking splodge everywhere, so yeah. Obviously you can see the difference. I might change this a little bit. Oh, that's cool. I like that. You can see how it really brings out those highlights on the wall and stuff like that. I like that one quite a lot. And now what we're going to do is go into the layer, the sketch layer, sorry. Get like any colour you want really, but something that really resembles the background. So like a kind of orangey colour, maybe like a reddish, pinky colour, something like that. Go into your sketch layer and lock it, so none of the colours go everywhere, and just lightly go over that. That was in the wrong area. Just lightly go over that with something like that, and you can see the colours changing. Just lightly go over that with like maybe an airbrush, I think would be the equivalent. Just lightly go over it so the colours start to change a bit, where they're a bit too dark, and also gives you more colours to work with. Make sure to stretch, by the way. Always stretch while doing your art. Otherwise you'll end up like me, a little prawn curled up on your chair. So here's a scary part. So you want to take everything that you've just done and you want to slap it all on one layer. Well, if you want to keep the background separate, then you totally can. Since you've got those two different sets of shading layers. Like in terms of my piece, it'll be a layer of his royal wobbliness and then a layer of the background and then other layers for like whatever you want. I'm just gonna slap it all down. Obviously, this is the point where you want to like check if you want to adjust any of the lighting or anything like that. But me personally, I'm pretty happy with this. So I'm gonna just put all of this on one layer. If you want to, obviously save beforehand. I'm going to do the same with his royal wobbliness because I'm pretty chuffed with how that looks. Look at that, he's on one layer, the background's on one layer. I'm going to add some red here and there, blend that out. Just some more, for again, some more colour variations. And just so it looks cooler, in my humble opinion. It's just, it looks way warmer now. You see the difference? It looks way warmer. The golds look really nice and golden. I'll do a smaller amount on there, I think. Just keep in mind like how it looks against the wall and everything like that. And then above everything, I'm gonna get some just white highlights here and there. It'll help a little bit in when we are blending out. And blending out itself doesn't really take too long. I'm not going to really worry too much because I can just add some in when I'm painting, so who really cares, you know? The thing about this, you can change a lot as you go. It's really malleable. Okay, let's put it all on one layer. And it's time to render out, or blend out, or paint, or whatever the hell. So here's my little pride and joy. He's called Pog Brush. He's a brush I use for so much shit. I love him. I'm just using a pirated version of Psy, so I'm not sure if like everything's gonna have the same kind of thing. But I'll show you my settings here anyway. I'll zoom in and like editing or whatever, and I'll just show you what I've got. It's just simple circle with no texture. It just blends. It's a really simple brush, and we're gonna start blending now. Hooray! Yay! So I like to keep the brush pretty big because it really just brings out that the unblended kind of look. But you can obviously like change the size to really like fuck with some stuff. Again, I think you can. I'm really unsure what types of brushes you can use. I'm only familiar with Psy personally. I've only ever used Psy. I've only like tried out like one or two other programs like in a fleeting little moment. And they've had like I don't know. There's probably something like this you can get on other programs. If you're on like Procreate, I'd say there's almost definitely a brush like this. I don't like these eyes all being the same color, so I'm just going to get a little bit of a darker brown and do that. Just give a bit of gradient to them. I don't know, just gives them a little bit of depth. So they're all the same color, it kind of looks odd in a painting. And the crown, oh my god, I love shading metal so much. My favorite fucking thing. There's always so many fun colors in here. There's this big dark one. But yeah, like if you see like a color somewhere in the painting which you want to get, like just pick it up, just use it. It's great. It's you see this little color here, I want to use it. I'm just going to eyedrop that and blend it out a bit more. This golden color I want to use. Just always use the eyedropper, like all the time on like different things, just so you can blend it out. Corner looks a bit jank, so let's just sharpen that up a bit. Do something like that. Yeah, I like to zoom out quite a lot just to see how everything looks together. I just find it like just helps you get a little bit of perspective because one thing might look really nice, but it might look a bit like out of whack with the other stuff. It might just not fit. So it's good just to check all the time. Just check everything's like kind of in the same style, kind of fits. Just kind of looks okay. I love painting metal so much. It's fun to just make it fun. You know what I mean? Just make it something that you enjoy. Because, like, I fucking love colours, so I decided to start using wacky ass colours. And there you go. Don't be afraid to, like, go really out there with your colour choices, because that's what makes art fun, you know? Um, just doing whatever you want. And a lot of the time, if you really, like, experiment with what you're doing and stuff like that, people will come to your artwork and be like, oh my god, that's so cool, what the fuck? I want to do that. Like, one of the first artists I really, really looked up to. They're on YouTube. They're called Kiwi Bird, which is KIWIBYRD, and they're pretty much the person that I really like learn. That's basically where I was like, okay, I want to paint. Like, they're the person that really inspired me to start painting and stuff like that. And it's pretty much I pretty much like map in all of my shading colors that way because of them. Like a really old tutorial they made back in like 2016 or something. But they just use like shaded layers and things like that. I'll use that purple down here. That looks nice. So you can just do that. You can just fucking pick up a color that you like somewhere and put it somewhere else. And it just looks nice, you know? A lot of the time, I really like using directional strokes as well, because it really helps with, think of it traditionally, I guess. Directional strokes really help, um, create, the illusion of something being 3D, you know what I mean? Hopefully this is not too confusing. I'm trying my best. If you're really struggling with what colours to use, if you want to use like really bright colours, I recommend looking at sprite work for really like really nice looking like DS games and stuff like that. Like obviously personally I like how Rocket Slime looks, and that uses like a lot of really nice like purples and blues for all of its shading. It just looks really nice. You know what? I kind of understand how YouTubers do this now. You're just kind of talking to yourself. It's like have you ever done that thing where when you're just kind of chilling out alone, you kind of like do a let's player voice to yourself? I hope people know what I mean by that. Yeah, 'cause at the end of the day, those shading and lighting layers we put down are they're just guidelines. You know, they're just guidelines. Do whatever you want. Do whatever you think looks cool. Yeah, blend this bit. Yeah, tone that back a bit. Take this pink and put it down there. Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about like the sketch still coming through or whatever. It adds to the experience. Well, if you don't like it coming through, then obviously get rid of it or like paint over it or whatever. But personally, I just, uh, I just like doing this. I like doing this. Because, like, the way how I used to paint, like, uh, like last year and at the beginning of the year, pretty much, it was really, really overworked and over detailed and really just took for fucking ever. It took, like, more than 10 hours to finish a piece, which is just ridiculously long. And that's why I never painted. But now I paint all the time now because, you don't have to put fucking 2 million hours of work into something. Not everything has to be like blended out to fuck. Like Jesus Christ, you can just chill, just chill out. It's fine. Oh, look at that. Look at that colour I just found. Super orange. Yeah, good thing to keep in mind with like gold and stuff like that is that very diverse in its colours. So if you find something like this, it is good. You should fucking put it everywhere. Just kind of just put it around randomly. Not too much, not too little, you know what I mean? Just keep it there consistently. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's just like a feeling. It's like, oh yeah, that goes there. That feels right, you know? Just make sure to really flesh out those darker areas that you might have, like, that might have been missed with the sketch, you know what I mean? I'll just fix this while I'm looking at it. It's been annoying me thinking about it. Let's put some lines in here, because these are tiles. Just add that bit of highlight up there, make them look more tiley, I guess. Gonna make that lighting more apparent up here. Do this, yeah. Just made a lighter colour by remembering which direction on the colour wheel colour that we shaded with us, if that makes sense. So the lighting colour was orange, so I went in that direction to make that new colour, if that makes sense, and also made it lighter. That probably doesn't make sense. Like say if I want to make a lighter colour for this carpet, just colour pick it, go to more orange, make it a bit lighter, and then, you know, we have something that kind of stays in theme with the whole lighting we have. It's a bit too dark. Bit too dark. Since the carpet's thick, it won't really be able to bunch up as tightly as that, so the crease on it won't really be that dark, since it can't like stop a lot of light from getting in. I might just copy paste this. I might be cheeky. Kind of lazy, plus my neck really hurts. Just adding some brightness over here. Why not, you know? Live life on the wild side. I mean, it's reflective. Just put some more highlights there, kind of going down. Yeah, just doing that to make it look more shiny. Blend that out into that, I think. Yeah. I'm so tempted to copy paste this. You don't even know. I want to do this crown so bad. so I'm gonna do it. Yeah, if you get bored with doing one part, just fucking move on, honestly. Then you don't need to, like, I've been playing too much Minecraft. I've been playing way too much Minecraft. I just, like, heard the Minecraft cat meow noise. It's fine. My Minecraft cat's really cute. She's got heterochromia. It's like Raymond Animal Crossing, but cool, you know? Actually, Raymond's not too bad. He's not too bad. He's just a bit, I don't like him as much as other villagers. Which can go for any villager, of course. This is a really fucking wishy-washy way of saying it, but, yeah, I don't know. I just don't feel him as much. If you showed up in my town, I think it would be an omen. You could probably spell omen with the letters in Raymond. I'm onto something. I'm onto something. Back to regularly scheduled programming. Why is that on 100%? Oh, yeah, because I was writing Raymond Omen. By the way, I know Omen is spelled with an E, but I just say that. I'm bad at spelling, but I'm not that bad at spelling. Besties, I'm gonna copy paste this. I've decided. Just saying. Yeah, here where we put the very little amount of highlights just because it was pretty bright. Just gonna gently kind of blend that out into everything. Now, I might even just make that even lighter because it looks very bright. And this is just like cotton or whatever it is. This seat's made of just general fabric, so it's not gonna be too bright, is it? Thing I'd really like to do with this brush when I'm doing creases is like say over here, I bring it out, like bring out the dark, and then like push back into it with the colours around it, and then it creates like that kind of pinched look without having to like really fuck around with the brush sizes. Just a little handed down a tip for you. Gonna bring out his form a bit more again. And get that highlight along his side properly so he looks a bit more slimy because he's a funny little slime guy. Yeah, he looks a bit more slimy now. Speaking of which, I need to do up here. Yeah, in places where if the colour blends out, it'll look really ugly, just use like a pen to get that colour back down if you need to. I wonder how many times in this I've said, just do what you want, do what makes your heart happy, just do whatever. If you like, try painting in this way or like watch this or like try something like this, let me know. Fucking at me on Twitter. That ends funny, so at ends art. Fucking let me know. I wanna see that shit. Let me hype you up. Let me go, yeah, woo, oh yeah, woohoo, in your fucking replies. My sister just dropped something. Let's get the shit out of me. No, of course, no stress. No worries. Don't have to do anything like that. I just like to see. Oh yeah, I was adding some uh definition to the edges here, like a picture frame. Because the original doesn't have it, but I'm just going to add it for this painting, just so it looks a bit, like, a bit more interesting. Oh, I didn't plan this out. Yeah, that's something. If you zoom around the canvas like me all the time, just make sure to double check things and have a good look. Just in case you miss something, and then later on you'll realize like a fucking month or like 2 seconds later after you post it and be like, oh fuck. 3 people already liked it. It would be a shame to take it down now. Then you just leave it open, then just like think about the mistake that you made. So I'm gonna copy paste this. I've decided. I've made the decision. I've made an executive decision. But yeah, just make sure to use that eyedropper all the goddamn time. All the time, so you can blend out the colours correctly. If you forget, that's fine. Just try and keep on top of it. Oh yeah, make sure to save. Make sure to save. Because like even though this doesn't take an ungodly amount of time, it still takes some time. And you don't want to redo everything, you know? Do you want to see something awesome? This is called the art of copy and pasting. I'm just gonna scoop out a little bit of this. Just a little bit. Just a little cheeky bit. Don't worry about it. Just a little tiny little bit. Just a, just a small amount. Oh, look at that. Can barely, can, can barely tell. Okay, you can tell, but it's fine. We'll blend it out. It is kind of like to the side a bit, isn't it? I think that's just how I've done it as I've been painting. Since I've changed it a bunch. I mean, that goes to show. That's how much changes, you know? Even if both sides weren't the exact same, it still shows. I don't know why that's so, like, different. It's in such a different place. It must have been the way that I colored it. Let's shift it around a bit. Like over there. Yeah. It's alright. We'll fix a bunch of this. It's good to copy paste before you finalize a lot of things, just so you can like fix it on both sides and then it looks a bit more unique on its own. Let's put some highlight on here too. Some just bright white. Nothing wrong with using bright white. Bright white because everywhere. The sun's got them bright white, so don't worry about that. People who say that you shouldn't use bright white or like bright or like absolute black or whatever it's called, or like jet black. A little bit boring. Do whatever you want. Like, I used to be one of those people who was like, don't shade with black, but like, dude, who fucking cares? Like, literally. Like, some amazing art styles out there use black shading, like the goddamn Superstar Saga. Not Super. The Mario and Luigi art style uses black shading. Looks fucking amazing. Please work. There we go. Cool. Pro tip, if you sing to your art supplies, they will work better. That's what I've found. Oh yeah, I should probably put like in the description or something what tablet I have. I just have a Huion 610 Pro, just one of those it's not a screen tablet or anything, it's like a little 60 quid tablet. I don't know how much it would be in like dollars or anything. You fucking lovely Americans, but yeah, it's not too bad. I've been using this for a long time. I like this model of tablet for a long time. I just like it. I like it. It works. It gets the job done, you know what I mean? I think sturdy as well. Well, I say that. The wire is not as sturdy, but the thing itself could probably throw it at someone, it'd be fine. Since crystal castles. Don't trust us. I'd play it for you, but I'd die. It's not like I'm really looking to build a channel or anything either. Because this is just like a little thing. And if people want more stuff like this, or like longer speed paints or whatever, I'll just upload more. And surprise, we're done. Yeah, that's it. Just blend this out a little bit more. Oh, hello orange. Where'd you come from? There's a still bit on my brush. I'll use you. Yeah, that's that. That's artwork, baby. Just gotta remember to sign that. Yeah, make sure to like and subscribe. Tell your mom, tell your dad. Give me a big old kiss of the lips, maybe? Sorry, I'm cutting that out. Am I gonna add a sparkle? I'm gonna add a sparkle, actually. Look at that. Now we're looking fancy. Damn. And there we go. I don't know how to end this, really. Yeah. Okay, yeah, if you find this helpful at all, let me know. It's my first time really doing anything like this. I'm happy with this painting. I think it's nice. I'm probably gonna post it, so I'll probably put this video link in the description whenever I end up editing this. Let people know that I'm making this. Yeah, a good time. But yeah, tag me if you make anything. And yeah, that'll be that. Bye bye.